What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. So today we diving into something really thought-provoking that came up while watching a reaction to Will Smith's recent interview about his spiritual journey. Now I will play the video or part of the clip. I'll scrub through it a little bit, and then I basically want to play the clip first so we can preface the conversation, and then we're going to have a conversation with you guys as always because I want to know you guys' thoughts. But with no further ado, let's watch the video first.
Is from being in the heart of your difficulty is how your eyes get deep when you look at somebody and they're in theirs. Right? People can tell you get it because you've been vomited on your bathroom floor. So you know what that's like. It's unfortunately or fortunately, it's like broken hearts are how we cultivate loving hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And say that again.
I said broken hearts are how we cultivate loving hearts.
Wow.
From being doubled over, you get a deep understanding of the human predicament. You know what it's like to be crippled with fear or pain. And through your path of recovering from that is how you reach back for others.
Yeah.
If you've never been there, you can't help nobody.
Wow. That's really good. I'm curious because there's a sage in Will. Will Smith has there's a lot of
sage, is some basil, little cinnamon. I'm all of it, man.
But I think that's the interesting part though, is because, and I'm curious, have you had to learn how to weave in that? The reason why I say that is this: when I'm listening to your project, you have a narrator, a reverend.
The reverend, well, no.
Right, which we'll dive into that later down the road. But I thought it was interesting that you didn't just sit there and just give sage wisdom. You kind of, it was mixed in with some comedy. But it was profound. But it was done in a way that was like accessible. What is that? Is that something that you do constantly? Is there a reason behind that?
I think. The album is called Based on a True Story, and this is season 1. So I'm doing it because it's based on a true story. I'm not calling it, volumes. So this is season 1.
Okay.
And my hope is I've released 3 seasons this year.
Okay.
So this is season 1.
Okay, it's a lot of seasoning going on.
It's a lot of seasoning, a lot of seasoning. So I'm calling the songs episodes.
Okay.
Right. So season 1 is Rave in the Wasteland. Right. So it's at what we were talking about learning how to be with difficult times. So this is the first songs that I wrote in like my most difficult times. So a long way to get to the question, right? That you can listen to it in 2 ways. I hope that it's just enjoyable. I wanted the beats to be banging. I wanted it to just be fun and enjoyable. But it also represents my journey of the last couple of years. And every song is an idea or a concept or something that that I explored or something that I learned or something that got downloaded, in the song you were talking about, the title song, The Rave in the Wasteland, we going to church tonight, we going to work tonight, we making it burn tonight, oh, you gonna learn tonight. We in the heart of the revelation. This is the elevation. 144,000. We have been chosen to lead the awakening. Right. So that's like the first.
I hear the double speaking there. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. You know, you know.
I hear it.
So you can just listen and have fun. Or you could track down the 144,000.
Right.
And understand the call, And so, I wanted to there's every song has a representative a corresponding idea of something that I learned and something that I experienced. One of my favorite songs is called Bulletproof.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And the concept of being spiritually bulletproof. Right. And I just wanted to make songs that would spark conversation.
Yeah.
For people to be able to have fun, dance. We can enjoy it, but there's also something to talk about if you wanted to be in the deep end.
Okay. And I'm gonna go there because you brought that up.
Yep.
We live in an era now where people are, at least in person, trying to be very tolerant of one another.
Yeah.
Online is a different story.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Online is a different story.
Yeah.
Your journey has been interesting, right? From childhood to today.
Yeah.
And there are spiritual undertones in there.
Yeah.
You were raised in the church,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you've been out in different areas of the world where you've seen like, whoa, I never had this. Oh, I'm enlightened to this culture and to these particular things. You weren't afraid of intolerance by referencing your church roots.
Right.
Because some people would say, whoa, man, I don't want that. Why was there no fear there?
So my personal belief is, I was raised, with an Old Testament grandmother.
Right.
So Gigi.
Yeah.
So my way and my deepest understanding is biblical. But I've read the Quran from cover to cover.
Yeah.
During Ramadan 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I read the Bhagavad Gita from cover to cover. I read the teachings of the Buddha. So, if I had to say what my religion is, I would take the Muhammad Ali quote, and my religion is love. Right? I believe in the oneness and the possibility of harmony between people who are all reaching for the one truth.
Yeah.
There's a line in the same record we were just talking about. It says, we're just a room full of sinners reaching for the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
And I just love that line, because everybody wants to
All right, family. Let me finish. Let them finish.
hold on to some kind of comparative superiority.
For sure.
And what has been beautiful for me in the past couple of years is the loss of my illusion of moral superiority.
Like you were better than everyone else.
Yeah, being humbled into the place that I'm not better than nobody.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So now I want to have a conversation now that we watched the clip. Now, as you just heard, Will Smith, he's a fascinating individual, right? And beyond his incredible talent in the creative arts, his deep dive into various religions is truly interesting in itself. And in this clip, he summarized his personal belief system, basically drawing a parallel to Muhammad Ali's famous quote, identifying with religion of love, right? With a religion of love. So the idea of a religion of love is certainly intriguing and can sound really appealing on the surface level. And it's almost intoxicating in its simplicity of it and how simple it is, but it got me thinking, family, what is the truest form of love that we as believers understand? And let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below because, as like I said, I'm just here to have a conversation, right? So for me, when I think about the purest, most profound love my mind immediately goes to the love revealed in the Bible, right? And if you think about it, God created us, humanity, in his very image, wanting us to be like him. Even when Adam and Eve disobeyed in the Garden of Eden, something God knew would happen from the very beginning. His response wasn't one of immediate condemnation, right? And despite their perfect conditions, the direct relationship with God, they were deceived. And yet God didn't abandon them. Instead, he set in motion a plan to ultimately eradicate evil and wickedness and a plan of reconciliation through his son Jesus Christ. And consider this, God himself stepped down into our creation, into our timeline, and sacrificed himself in the most brutal, humiliating, and painful way imaginable. And God, innocent, perfect, sinless, took that death upon himself for us, his children. And that, my friends, is love in its most distilled, most powerful form. And honestly, even if my words right now can't fully capture the immense depth of that love, so when someone like Will Smith talks about a religion of love, it's an interesting starting point, as we heard in this reaction. And it sounds like he's just drawing from different spiritual texts and beliefs, piecing them together what resonates with him. Now, while I can understand the human desire to seek spiritual fulfillment and find what feels right, as believers, what we have a different understanding of truth and love. And it's not about picking and choosing what we like and discarding what we don't. And this is something I want to highlight. Whenever I hear someone say my truth, it immediately raises a red flag for me. Even myself, if I was to mention and say my truth, it's a red flag. And while I understand that sometimes people are referring to their personal life experience, like Will Smith has mentioned, and he mentioned how he had to come through a humble me moment through his life, that he's not better than no one, and basically a realignment in his superiority, and how he's not better than anyone, and to basically reevaluate his morals and what he stand for, and how he should look at things from a moral standpoint, and also humbling himself. The concept of my truth, though, can also open the door to a subjective and self-serving interpretation of what it really is true. Truth, by its very nature, is objective and universal, not something we individually define, right? And we believe that everyone has a deep spiritual need, a longing for something more. And unfortunately, there can be deception out there, spiritual forces that can lead people astray. That's why it's so crucial for us as followers of Christ to share our testimony, to talk about God's love as it's revealed in the Bible, right? Because ultimately, as the Bible clearly states, Jesus himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. And that's in John chapter 14, verse 6. And this isn't about being exclusive. It's about the profound reality of who Jesus is and his path that he has provided for us, and the path that he has provided for us. And as I mentioned, about us being, as it mentioned in the Bible about, God being our rock, right? The foundation. We are called to be ambassadors for Christ. Our lives, our actions, our words, they should all point towards him, compelling compelling people to run towards him in his loving arms, not away. And it's not always easy, right? We live in a world fulfilled with sin and our own human nature, constantly pull us away from God, fighting within the flesh. It can be tempting to create a belief system that aligns perfectly with our own desires and understandings of what feels just and loving, right? It's like also reminds me how God has said, God over man, man over woman, woman over children. Well, the man is supposed to lead biblically because a lot of times a man has to save a woman from herself because she operates out of her emotions. And soon as she operates in her emotions, she tend to make not very much effective decisions objectively that's in her best interest. That's why God has led man over woman. The same way I look at it and how Eve got deceived by the serpent, not Adam, Eve by herself alone. If she was with Adam, I believe that she wouldn't have got deceived by the serpent because Adam would have kept her aligned. So a lot of times women have to be saved from themselves. That's why God told man to lead women, and he ultimately leads the family because men think more logically, as women are more emotionally prone to be more emotional. And women are like children. Not to get off topic, but look, what I'm trying to say here, family, is here is why my faith stands firm. And I'm not saying this to sound arrogant or boastful, but the love and grace offered through Jesus Christ almost feel too good to be true. And it's a love that is so complete, so selfless, and so beyond anything we could conjure upon our own. And yet, it's in that very too good to be true feeling that my assurance in its truth has never been ever stronger than ever. And experiencing his love and his grace, his mercy in our life, and witness it through the lives of so many around me. Ultimately, we all have free will, and we could choose what we believe. But as the Bible says, the road to true life is narrow, and while it might sound exclusive, it's rooted in the unwavering truth of God's love demonstrated through Jesus, who is the way, the truth, and the life. So this is why being ambassadors for Christ, and what I mean by being ambassadors is every single day you're striving to be the best version of yourself and also learn from your mistakes and not continue to repeat the very thing that you know that's not right, right? Because that's all what we're doing. Every day we're trying to be better children of God. We're constantly self-analyzing ourselves. And it's not just in our words, but in how we live our lives in our communities. We are the vessels through who God's appeal of love can reach others, leading them to the ultimate truth found in Jesus. So when Will Smith started reading all these other spiritual beliefs and kind of putting them together, because the Bible and the word itself, you shouldn't misconstrue it. You shouldn't take certain parts that feel good to you as uh you're reading other books and surrounded around other faiths. It will tempt you more to what I'm saying is, family, you to make up your own interpretation instead of the Bible for exactly what it says, right? And I forgot what they call it when you pick certain words from multiple faith fulfilled books and make up your own interpretation. I know the Bible condemns it, and if I get it, I'm looking it up right now because I know the Bible says that it's wrong, and it is wrong. Because you shouldn't make up your own interpretation of things. In one second, family. This. Okay. And also, the Bible encourages respect and understanding, you know, for people and other faiths, but it also highlights the unique truth is the unique truths, and it believes to be essential for salvation, right? So while the Bible emphasizes the importance of following Christ, like I mentioned, and his teaching for salvation, is what I'm trying to say, family. But others advocate for love and compassion towards all, regardless of religious beliefs. The Bible has acknowledged an existence of various religions and their beliefs, but Christianity is the true and complete revelation of God's plan for salvation, right? So the Bible encourages to respect other faiths, but like I said, through God and through Jesus Christ, his son, is the way, the truth, and the life. And when you start to take words from the Bible and make them your own interpretation, it's not good. Because then that's basically imposing personal interpretation. That's what I feel is happening. It's also referred to Isiakis, right? Which is the practice of interpreting a text based on objective analysis of your own interpretation, which can misconstrue the words of God, which isn't good, founded in faith. And that's what I want to get at. I had to look it up real quick, family, because I didn't know the fancy word for it. But I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. How do you reconcile with the idea of a general religion of love with the specific absolute truth revealed in Jesus Christ? Is my question. And what are your thoughts on the phrase "my truth"? Let's have a conversation in the comments below, family. I really want to get you guys' thoughts on it. I would love to hear you guys' perspective. You guys got my perspective. Um, it's just not good. You know what I'm saying? When you misconstrue God words, because then you're more tempted to taking your own feelings, and God is the way, superseding all of our feelings in our flesh, because he knows what's best for us before we even know. But thanks for joining me today. If this resonated with you, please like the video and subscribe for more discussions like this, and let's continue to explore the important topics together. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video, family. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I just wanted to give some value and pour some value into you guys' life. I hope I did, from a spiritual perspective. Continue to let the love supersede the faith. Supersede the hate, and walk in faith. Not supersede the faith. Let the love supersede the hate. Okay, I'm correcting it. And also, faith without works is dead, family. Spread that peace, love, and positivity, and always continue to be a better version of yourself every single day. Peace.